Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being on with us today. We are very excited to be here, and we hope that you are staying warm and safe on this cold day. Those of us up north have gotten some snow, and I know across the state we're all seeing some moisture, some much needed moisture. So we hope that you all are enjoying it and you stay safe the rest of today. My name is Christina PERA, and I am the Outreach Bureau Chief for PERA. And I'm also joined today with my colleague, first off, Christina Gauthier, who is our Public Relations Coordinator out of our Albuquerque office. And then we also have our other Public Relations Coordinator, Natalie Padilla, who is out of our Santa Fe office. So on behalf of the Outreach Bureau, if you didn't attend our January first early career seminar, welcome to the second seminar of the year. We hope that you have found our seminars beneficial and that we see you at more future seminars. So today's seminar is going to be recorded and it will be posted to our PERA video library sometime today. So if you have to step away from your desk or you can't stay for the whole seminar, please feel free to leave and then catch the recorded seminar later. Today's seminar is titled New Year, Future Retirement. So all of us have New Year's resolutions. And I feel like even myself, I start off really well, and then eventually I start deteriorating away and I don't follow through with my resolutions. So we found this really cool article from the New York Times, and it talks about how to make and keep a New Year's resolution. So just to kind of give you guys a refresher, because you haven't heard this within the last few days over and over again. But the first tip is pick the right resolution. So I think a lot of the times we put a lot of pressure on ourselves and we pick this really huge, resolution, and life gets in the way. What they recommend is that you give yourself the best shot of success as possible and to set goals that are doable, and that are meaningful. So, sometimes with myself, I pick this really huge goal and I know deep inside that it's going to be hard to attain. And what they recommend is using SMART goals. And I know a lot of us have used that even in our own careers when we're trying to finish a project within our division. The second pointer that they give to us is create a plan. So I think all of us too automatically expect the result as soon as possible. And that sets us up for failure. And so what they say is your end goal just won't magically appear, that you have to realize that it is going to take some work to get there. And it probably won't be easy. The third tip is make it personal. So what they say is that you have to do some work to figure out what the cue is for your habit that you want to change, and then what will replace it. So that's, a natural behavior with all of us. So what really is, creating this goal that we don't want, and we really got to figure out what is kind of agitating that and really digging deep to see how we can fix that cue. The next tip is leap over your resolution hurdles. So be easy on yourself. Resolutions can be hard and your goals can be hard and no one's perfect. They say the quest for your resolution won't be either, but you can always get back on track. So just remember that if you didn't reach your goal today, tomorrow's another day, and you can just pick back then. The next tip is find a community. You don't have to be alone when you're going through your New Year's resolutions, especially if your resolution starts in the new year. And know that you have plenty of support around you. And if you don't know those resources, then start doing some research and see what is there for you. Whether it's a friend, whether it's a colleague at work, whether it's a family member, or another organization that can help you reach your goals. The last one that they recommend is if you miss your goal, you didn't fail at the end of the day. And to remember, you're your own experiment. And so one thing that might be good for one person may not necessarily be good for you. So it's just a matter of playing with things and see what is helping you and kind of going off of that. And so, like I said, you guys have probably heard this over and over again within the last few days, but we really wanted to shape, your resolutions around PERA and really taking grab of your PERA account and doing some things that are going to really benefit you, in the next few years, and even all the way up to retirement and even after retirement. So we really want to set you all up for success since now, whether you were just hired a few days ago, or whether you're 15 years in, or whether you're a year or a few months from retirement. So today's seminar is going to get at that as we go forward. So we also came across a really interesting article that came out last year in November, and it was retirement savings by age and what to know. So oftentimes we hear so many, different tips, guidance around saving for retirement. And really what's really cool about PERA, if you hadn't, really realized this, is that regardless of the contributions that you put in your account, regardless of the contributions that your employer puts in your account, at the end of the day, once you meet certain eligibility requirements, you have a lifetime benefit to look forward to. So I'm not misspeaking, it's not a mistake, a lifetime benefit, which is huge. So, scratch that. And let's say we were not a public servant with this amazing job, helping communities, helping your fellow New Mexicans. Let's say we worked for a private sector entity, or let's say we run our own business. What they recommend, Fidelity Investments, is the following in front of you. So these are just general goalposts for individuals. So they say if you are age 30, you should be saving your annual salary for retirement. They also recommend all the way to 50, you should be saving 6 times your annual salary for retirement. Even all the way down to age 67, you should be saving 10 times your annual salary. So that can be a little worrisome. And a lot of people who have a 401k, an IRA, or a Roth, the thing with that sets us apart is that with those ones, once those bucket of contributions dwindles away, you kind of are left on your own. And you see a lot of retirees going back to work because they have to, they don't have a choice. And here at PERA, again, you retire under eligibility requirements and you have a lifetime benefit to look forward to. And, it's amazing because your employer puts contributions on your behalf, besides you having to do that. And then we're going to talk about how we have our PERA Smart Save deferred compensation plan, where you can be saving more money if that was your choice. Another interesting fact that they shared is an example. So say you earn $75,000 per year at the age of 30, you'll need savings of $225,000 by age 40. And then at age 50, you're going to want to have $450,000. And at age 60, you should have $600,000 as far as a retirement based off of Fidelity's calculations. They do say that every person in every situation is different when it comes to retirement savings. But those are just kind of some, calculations that they put forward for readers. So very interesting. We did leave the link for you all if you wanted to go read more. It was a very interesting article. Again, it says everyone's going to be different. But again, we do want to remind you that besides being a wonderful public servant in your community, within your state agency or your county, municipal, judicial, and magistrate entity, you have this amazing lifetime benefit to look forward to. Some financial literacy tips that we came across that we wanted to share with you all. Again, kind of a definition for you with financial literacy, it is the possession of the set of skills and knowledge that allows an individual to make informed and effective decisions with all of the financial resources that they have available. So one of the tips is to build a budget. And keep in mind that over time, it is not a factor for most retirement calculations. Another tip is minimize any debt accrued over the course of your career and aim to start your retirement with little to no extra expenses. Another tip is to keep healthy. Going into retirement as healthy as possible will help to keep deductibles and out-of-pocket expenses lower. So, us as government employees, our health insurance may offer some health-related resources for you. Also, we definitely encourage you to reach out to them. Another tip is plan ahead for insurance coverage. If you have not seen the rates for retiree healthcare, that is a huge tip, and that is your homework for today, is to go onto the New Mexico Retiree Healthcare Authority's webpage and take a look at the rates. We are not doing it to scare you, but rather we're doing it to help you prepare to look to what to look forward to or not to look forward to. And they say that saving extra money for health insurance after retirement can assist in offsetting costs for premiums and coverage payments. And then last but not least, they recommend that you have to obtain information about how any and all retirement accounts you have work together and learn about any rules, restrictions, and eligibility requirements. And so we do know that we have some reciprocity members in New Mexico. So we definitely encourage you to reach out to the other retirement related agencies that you have service credit for. So that way you can monitor what you have on their end. And then we definitely recommend that you monitor what you have on PERA's end. And we're going to talk about how you can do that later in today's seminar. Some career tips that we would wanted to bring to your attention is, first off, we go out on the road all the time and we converse with members over email, phone all the time. And a lot of people, see that we do have high contribution rates. But at the end of the day, we don't want you to stress about how much you contribute. Right now, you do contribute what may seem like a lot, but according to retirement experts, you should be contributing to a 401k or an IRA already. Like I mentioned, the downfall with those plans is that once those funds go away, you're left with nothing and you have to start all over again. The benefit of being a PERA member is that, again, regardless of the amount of contributions you put in, your employer puts in, you still have a lifetime benefit to look forward to. And then the huge perk, like I mentioned, is that your employer contributes on your behalf as well. And so at the end of the day, paycheck to paycheck, you don't ever have to worry about setting aside a certain amount. It's already deducted. And then, you have the opportunity to put more into retirement using Smart Save. And so hopefully that kind of makes you feel a little bit better. Another huge tip that we tell members all the time is go for that high paying position. The final average salary for Tier 1 members is based on the average of the member's highest 36 consecutive months of salary at the time of purchase. And then for Tier 2 members, final average salary is based on the average of the member's highest 60 consecutive months of salary. So, at the end of the day, you got to take care of yourself. If there is a wonderful job opportunity with another PERA-affiliated agency, by all means, look into it. Take that extra high-paying job. Or not extra, but take that extra money that you may be receiving and a wonderful opportunity to grow. I know for myself this year, it's all about growth. And so we get it. We want you to have the best as an active member, as well as a retired member. So just another tip for you to take into consideration. Now we're going to kind of go a little bit into PERA and how it all works. If you are just learning about PERA, we are a 401A qualified government plan, which is governed by the New Mexico Public Employees Retirement Act. We've been around this year in August. We'll celebrate 76 years. We celebrated our 75th anniversary last year. And if you didn't know, we cover the whole entire state of New Mexico, whether you're a state employee, municipal or county employee, et cetera, et cetera. So we cover a huge gamut of members throughout the state. We provide benefits to over 47,000 active members and over 42,000 retirees and beneficiaries. We also have 31 different plans. And so we want to make sure that today, going forward for this year, have that be a resolution. Find out, what kind of member you are, what plan you fall under, how much service credit you have, how much contributions you have on account, because we want you to monitor this going forward. We never want you to miss out on any service credit. My colleague and I were not joking today, but we were talking about the incident with the 2 airplanes at JFK over the weekend, that there was a mishap, that 2 planes nearly collided with each other within feet of each other. And the thing about it is there's such thing as human error. And so in your career, it could be HR that made a mistake. It could be PERA that made a mistake. Regardless, we're humans, we all make mistakes, but we still want you to monitor your service credit going forward. And we're going to show you how at the end of the seminar. We're very different from other agencies in that we have a board of trustees, and that is made up of 12 different members. And they represent backgrounds just like you and myself. So they come from a state, municipal, county background. We have a couple of retired members on the board. We have the Secretary of State and the State Treasurer who also sit on the board as well. I would also try to make it a resolution for you this year to at least attend one PERA board meeting and just get to know your board members, see what they're doing. At the end of the day, our retirement is in their hands. And so you want to make sure that they're making the best decisions. And you can always reach out to them and express your feedback, any concerns you have or any questions you have. So we definitely recommend that you get to know them. One of the biggest responsibilities is that they oversee our trust fund, and I believe it sits at a little over $17.4 billion right now. I could be incorrect. But we want to make sure that that's a high number because we want our retirement to be solvent. Not only do you and I want a retirement, Christina or Natalie, we want you all, we want our kids, our grandkids, and their kids, etc. So again, a huge responsibility that the board oversees. If you are not familiar with what tier you fall under, PERA has two different tiers. If you are a tier 1 member, this means that you were hired for the first time on or before June 30th, 2013, and had member contributions on account as of June 30th, 2013, and were retired as of June 30th, 2013. If you are a tier 2 member, this means that you were hired for the first time on or after July 1st, 2013, or you refunded your employee contributions on or before June 30th, 2013, and returned to work for a PERA affiliate on or after July 1st of 2013. If you are still unsure as to what tier you fall under after hearing that, this is something that we can definitely provide to you. And we're going to show you how you can even find that out towards the end of the seminar. Another huge factor as a PERA member is whether you are a vested member. So even as a tier 1 and a tier 2 member, you both share vesting requirements. So right now, a member has to reach a minimum of 5 years of service credit under PERA to be considered a vested member. What this means when you are a vested member is that you have a lifetime pension to look forward to once you meet certain age and service requirements based off of your tier of membership. And it also means that you're eligible to purchase additional types of service credit, which is really great. And we're going to go over that here shortly. So even after hearing that, if you're not sure if you're a vested member, I challenge you as a resolution this year to figure out what this means and where you fall under, whether you're a tier 1 member, a tier 2 member, and if you are a vested member. So it's not a huge resolution. It's super easy, I promise. So if we were looking more specifically in detail on what tier 1 members, when you can retire, if you look at our general plan under tier 1, it is a 25-year retirement plan. And this means that you're non-public safety members. This means that you can retire at any age with 25 or more years of service credit or fall under other age and service credit requirements. So you can even retire at age 61 with 17 or more years of service credit, all the way down to age 65 with 5 or more years of service credit. If you are a public safety member, this means that you fall under our 20-year retirement plan. So what this means is that you can retire at any age with 20 or more years of service credit or fall under other age and service credit requirements. So the same thing, you can retire at age 62 with 14 or more years of service credit, even all the way down to age 65 with 5 or more years of service credit. If you are a tier 2 member and you are a general plan member, meaning non-public safety, you are going to retire under what is called the rule of 85. So what that means is that you have to have a minimum of 5 years of service credit or more, and your sum of age at the time of retirement and your years of service credit have to equal 85, or you can retire at age 65 with 5 or more years of service credit. We do like to include this handy dandy calculation for tier 2 members just because it kind of makes it a little bit easier to calculate. If at any time you do have questions on tier 2, as it can be a little confusing, please reach out to PERA and we can provide you with the most accurate information. If you are a tier 2 member and you are a public safety member, you fall under a 25-year plan, meaning that you can retire at any age with 25 or more years of service credit, or at age 60 with 5 or more years of service credit. There's a huge rumor mill out there when it comes to tier 2 members. We often hear, it's a 30-year plan. We've heard it all. But again, if as a tier 2 member, like I said, it can be a little confusing. But if at any time during your PERA career, please reach out to PERA. And we can give you the most accurate information. Another tip for you all going forward, because like I said, we're trying to set you up for success, is that your dates are going to be super important when earning service credit. So if you're going into a new job, or let's say you just got hired on, for your first month of employment to count towards service credit, you have to be hired into a PERA eligible position no later than the 16th day of the month. Let's say you're moving, like we said, go for that higher paying position throughout your career. Let's say you're going to another para-affiliated position for another great opportunity. To earn service credit during that last month of employment, you have to remain on payroll through the 15th day of the month. So we don't expect you all to memorize this, but hopefully you can keep it in the back of your head whenever you're moving to a new position under a new para-affiliated employer, to reach out to PERA so that way we can remind you of these important dates. Another factor is your salary. So for each month that you are employed, you have to be reported to PERA as having earned no less than half of your normal salary as a full-time employee. If you ever go down to a part-time status and you work less than 30 hours a week, we definitely want you to contact PERA, as well as your HR representative for service credit requirements. Because like I said, we never want you to have misinformation and then drop down to a lower status and miss out on service credit. So sometimes, if a lot of people come and say, well, I worked for this entity a long time ago. I think the best example is I was a lifeguard or I was a recreation leader. Unfortunately, those positions are seasonal or temporary. And so you didn't accrue service credit at the time unless the agency, somehow did consider you an employee to have you make contributions. But in that case, we definitely want you to reach out to PERA again, so you have the most accurate information. We can conduct an audit on your account and provide you with what we have on our end. So reach out if that ever does pertain to you. When it comes to service credit options, as far as purchasing or receiving free service credit, here are the options in front of you. The first one is known as withdrawn or forfeited service credit. So you do have the opportunity, if you ever left a para-affiliated position and you took a refund or a rollover of those contributions, and you forfeited that service credit, you have that opportunity to purchase that time back. The great thing with withdrawn or forfeited service credit is that your purchase can be made in yearly increments or in full. And then please keep in mind that all of the options in front of you are subject to current plan maximums. Another option is known as military service credit. So for those of you on today's seminar, if you are an active military duty member or a veteran, on behalf of PERA, Christina, and Natalie and myself, thank you so much for your service. We appreciate you more than you know. One way that PERA does like to give back to you all is through military service credit. So if you are called to active military duty while employed with a PERA-affiliated employer, and you return back to PERA-affiliated employment within 90 days of discharge from military service, you could be granted free service credit. So this is huge, and we definitely want you to take advantage of this if it does pertain to you. If you served in the military before working for a PERA-affiliated employer, you can purchase up to 60 months of active military service credit, 1 or more months at a time. You do have to be a vested member under PERA, and so we want you to keep that in mind as well. When it comes to airtime, a lot of people aren't familiar with airtime. So this is literally, once you are a vested member, this is literally taking 12 months out of thin air and being able to purchase that time to retire earlier. The great thing with airtime is that you can purchase this in monthly increments or in full. And then keep in mind, all of these are subject to current plan maximums. To receive a cost estimate of any of these options, it is free as a PERA member. All you need to do is fill out a PERA request form. And for our active military duty and veterans, all we would need extra from you is a copy of your DD 214 form. And the great thing is with all of our forms, you can email them, you can fax them, you can mail them in, or you can bring in your PERA request form. And then within 30 to 60 business days, you will receive a cost estimate as well as more guidance as to how you can purchase this time. The great thing, like we've been mentioning early on in the seminar, was a perk that PERA provides is our Smart Save Deferred Compensation Plan. This plan is optional, it's voluntary, and it is a 457B plan. It is PERA sponsored. And so the great thing about Smart Save is you defer paying any taxes on your investment earnings in the plan. And like I mentioned, it is tax deferred. Some benefits of our Smart Save program is that you can use these funds to pay for service credit. So all of the options that we went over in the previous slide, you can use your Smart Save funds to purchase. Like I mentioned, within your estimate that you'll receive by mail, there will be extra guidance. So if you had wanted to use our Smart Save funds, within that letter, you'll have more guidance as how you can do that. Another great thing about Smart Save is that you can open an account early on in your career to offset any post-retirement insurance premiums or out-of-pocket expenses. So again, we're trying to set you up for success. So please visit the New Mexico Retiree Healthcare Authority, take a look at their rates, do your research. There's a lot of other options out there, but it is up to you to do that research. Another great thing is that you can open an account now and roll over any remaining annual leave balances that you have when you're getting ready to retire. So you really do gain more money as opposed to getting paid out by your employer. So for those of you who are getting ready to retire, this is another great option. A lot of, soon to be retirees ask, well, is it even beneficial if I'm retiring? And that is one reason why we do recommend that you can still open an account, so that way you can roll over any remaining leave balances. Another great thing about Smart Save is that you have loan options to benefit from. So, if you're, let's say now with the snow, your roof starts leaking and it makes a huge mess, or, something else comes in life, we do have loan options that you can benefit from. And so we definitely encourage you, if you do have a Smart Save account and if you're ever in that situation, please reach out to our Smart Save program and we can provide you with more guidance. Another thing about Smart Save that we usually try to share, or our Smart Save representatives try to share, is that every year the IRS announces the limits that you can contribute to Smart Save. And so the maximum annual deferral is a little over $22,000. And as you can see, all the way down to the maximum, including a 3-year special catch-up, is $45,000. So all I can say is whoever makes that money, I'll definitely, I'll definitely be your friend, because that's a good person in a good position. I'm just kidding. But just something to think about if you had ever wanted to put away $22,500 in your Smart Save plan at any given time. The great thing with Smart Save is that we have representatives all across the state who are here to help you at the drop of a dime. In our northern New Mexico region, we have Peter Ratmond, and we have his information. In central New Mexico, we have Paul Liam. In southern New Mexico, we have Linda Miller. And so if at any time you have questions, or you want to enroll, or you want to learn how you can bump up your contributions, these are the people that will definitely be there to help you. So hopefully, as a New Year's resolution, you give yourself more in retirement and you open a Smart Save plan. We never hear from people that they want to save more money or that they love this extra money in retirement. And so this is just a huge perk that we hope that you all consider to be a resolution this year. Another resource for your New Year's resolutions is to open an online RIO account. So at any time you can come to Christina, Natalie, or myself, or our customer service division and get an overview of your PERA account. You can call us, you can email us, you can come into the office. But to save yourself gas money, because we all know how gas is these days, you can actually open a self-service account online and you have 24/7 access to your information. So you can either go to our main website, which is www.nmpera.org, and you will see a yellow button at the top that says RIO login, or we've included this direct link to the RIO page. You can open an account. It literally takes like 2 minutes to open. And then after that, you'll have 24/7 access. We have estimate calculators on there. So if you ever wanted to kind of get a guesstimate of how much it would be to purchase time, or for those of you who meet certain requirements, you can get an estimate of benefits. Just a huge resource for our members. So another resolution, even homework for you all today, is to open an account so that way you can start monitoring your service credit going forward. It's a great planning tool as well. If you ever have any questions, you can always contact us. We have an office in Santa Fe and in Albuquerque. Like I said, you can email us all of your forms. That way you don't have to mail it or worry about getting it through a fax number. And you can call us at any time or email us. So the outreach team today, Christina, myself, and Natalie, we receive all of the incoming emails. And so we are always here to help you at any time, well, through business hours, during business hours. And then, Christina monitors our PERA-Albuquerque at state.nm.us email. So please email us if you ever have any questions. On top of all of our forms, you will see a no-reply.records email, so you can even email your stuff there. The only thing with that is because it is a no-reply email, you're not going to get a response that anything was received. So you are more than welcome to send it to the PERA-Member Services or the PERA-Albuquerque, and we will give you a confirmation that it was received. I forgot to mention in our Rio resource, you can even upload forms there as well. So while you're looking at your service credit, you're planning out, what to look forward to in retirement, you can also upload a PERA request form if you ever want to see what it would be to purchase 12 months of airtime. So it's a really great resource to have in your toolkit. I did mention our website earlier. So all of our forms, our handbooks, our kits, our videos are located on our website. We are excited. We're launching what is called PERA at a Glance. So it's a financial snapshot of PERA's investments. All of our financial information will be available. So on that red banner, it should be changing either today or tomorrow. So you can go in and see what PERA is up to. We're all about transparency. We want you to be as educated and informed as possible. And so, our website is just a huge resource for you as well, if you need anything or if you have any questions. If you are a social media addict like myself, PERA is on all of the following social media channels. So we have a Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn page. I promise we're not going to stalk you and see if you're building a snowman today or, what plans you have for the weekend. Really, it's a chance for us to provide you with information, updates. Now with the legislative session, we may be sharing some updates there as well. So we just want to keep you informed at all levels, even if it's virtually on social media. So be our friend. I promise we're not going to turn into your stalker. With that being said, that concludes today's seminar. Again, we thank you so much for attending. We are going to open it up for Q&A. But before we do that, we just wanted to say thank you so much. And we are going to stop recording the seminar. And again, please reach out if you need anything. And again, don't be so hard on yourself for your New Year's resolutions. But when it comes to your PERA resolution, you have a community of people that are here for you to support you and to guide you. So please never hesitate to reach out to PERA staff, and we'll make sure that you're taken care of. Thank you so much.